Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This morning, I am going to shut down the power grid. I hope everyone is prepared. She freaked out, bro. If the power grid shuts down, this is what it might look like to you all. Fish don't think about water, even though it's the most important thing to them. They don't think about eating fish and not get eaten by other fish until you pull them out of the water. Then that's the only thing they want to do is get back into that water. Humans are smarter than fish, but a lot of us are not smart enough to be thankful for every breath that we get. The Hegelian dialect is a problem. I caused the problem, and I see your reaction to the problem. I see your reaction to the problem, and I'm going to try to offer a solution to the problem. Thomas Jefferson wrote, if the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless in this continent that their fathers conquered. I believe banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. The issuing power of currency should be taken from the banks and restored to the people to where it properly belongs. I'm going to repower the power grid.
What is flash?
Today, I'm going to try to persuade you all to seek an end to the Federal Reserve and to inform you that they are not a branch of the federal government. We need action from our leaders and we need action at home. Economics is warfare. The Federal Reserve Act was signed December 23rd in 1913. The Federal Reserve is 101 years old right now. It'll be 101 on December 23rd. Woodrow Wilson signed the ability to create currency to private bankers. I think they're gangsters. The Federal Reserve is unbalanced and they are unchecked. They are self-regulated. That's too much power. The Federal Reserve creates money. They loan money at interest out of something that they created out of zero. That doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem right to me. I know that there are people who are benefiting from this system, but it's not benefiting the majority of the people. Now that we know just a little bit more about the Federal Reserve, I want to show you how they have taken advantage of U.S. citizens. As I said before, the Federal Reserve is a group of private bankers, and their system is fraudulent. As we talked about with the fractional reserve system, 97% of the currency in America does not exist in a tangible form. The Federal Reserve is a system that's in place creates scarcity through the supply and demand. This earth is abundant and prolific. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to walk out there and get a tomato, an okra, or a peach in this world instead of having to go to Bilo, which is a corporation. They create scarcity. They are a financial system that is made out of thin air. And out of that thin air, you have to pay that back with a job that you have to go to. You have to pay back with interest, and interest I call blood, sweat, and tears. So that's what you're paying back to them, out of what they made out of zero. The Federal Reserve System encourages social stratification. They've commandeered our natural resources. They've hijacked our elections, our politicians. No one in this room would pay $100,000 to get a job at McDonald's. But politicians who get $174,000 a year for the job, spend millions of dollars to get that job. You know, they're not working for the $174,000, they're working for the money that the corporations pay them. The Federal Reserve is a fraud. President Obama has stacked his cabinet with bankers from Wall Street, Larry Sumner's, Tim Geithner. He reinstated Alan Greenspan back into the Federal Reserve, and those are the guys who engineered the collapse of our financial system back in 2008. The Federal Reserve is a paper tiger. They are Wizard of Oz. We as individuals can take back our power, not with guns and violence, but with our minds. We can change the world with our minds. Great minds don't think alike. Great minds think for themselves. If economics is warfare, we need to fire some shots. We, as a people, need to get from under the tyranny of banks. We need to not to have to go to the bank to get a house. We shouldn't have to go to the bank to get a car. We shouldn't have to pay interest. There's no device in the economic system that pays interest. Yet we have to pay it out of the money that we earn with blood, sweat, and tears. Then that money is taxed before that time. Stop supporting corporations that don't support your communities. Save for what you want. If you want something, save for it. Don't go to the banks and pay interest on things. Use sustainable energy. This is the reason why I have these up here. This is a battery-operated TV. This is my battery recharger for my rechargeable batteries. This is another crank radio. Not as high quality as this one. This is a crank radio. As the grid fails, you don't want to be sitting in the dark like we were earlier. So these are some of the things that I have taken my money, the little bit of money that I have, to try to make my money go as far as it can go. Put your money in, okay, apply your education. Get some education. Apply your education to making your quality of life better. Apply your knowledge to building your dreams. You can spend your life building your dreams, or you can spend your life building other people's dreams. Think about tiny houses. Think about eco-villages. There are people who are benefiting from this system, but they're a very small percentage. The numbers say that we are $1.64 trillion in debt to China. It seems like the system is working because it's created out of debt. So we are in debt, and that debt is not benefiting us. So, in conclusion, I've shown you the facts that the Fed has too much power, that they have too much influence over our elections and our lives. Creating a currency should be a duty of the people. The next time you want something, save for it. Buy a tiny house, plant a garden, plant an orchard, buy a solar panel, 85 watts, it'll run your computer, 85 watts. Get some wisdom and apply it to your quality of life. Thank you very much.